My name is Chad Breidenbach. I am the Service Operations Manager at Technique Roofing Systems.
What does being the Service Operations Manager, what does that mean?
So my duties as a Service Operations Manager is to schedule all repair personnel for jobs on a daily basis, to get bills ready for invoices from previous days, previous weeks, or to prepare for bigger repair jobs in the future, to do inspections for future jobs in the future.
So you basically are in charge of the entire service department.
Yes.
You're the head of the service department as well.
Yes.
So if I have a service need for my roof and I'm going to call Technique Roofing, I should ask for Chad Breidenbach.
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been working at Technique Roofing?
16 years. I started in 2001. I left in 2005. Came back for a year, left in 2007, and came back in 2011.
Okay. And since 2011, you've been here?
2011, I've been here.
So you've worked a lot of different things in the company, so you understand the industry, and now you're really understanding the customer side and stuff. So just what different positions have you had?
When I started working here, I was a laborer, and I actually worked for Keith. Keith was my foreman on the roof. At that time, I was picking up garbage, living in a dumpster, getting yelled at a lot, up and down a ladder a lot. From there, I moved into I started doing a little service there when I first did, and then I moved into install for a while, which I was I don't know what you want to call it, second in command, foreman when foreman wasn't there. Which also turned into finishing jobs, inspecting welds, caulking things, putting vents on while everybody else was still installing. I was doing that pretty much by myself. From there, I probably went into service a little more, but then I started driving our crane truck, which I was loading roofs for our old St. Henry branch and our branch.
Okay.
3 days a week. Doing service 2 days a week. From there, moved back into service permanently for probably the last, 7-8 years.
Okay.
So, and then as of this year, I moved into the service operations mode.
What's your goal on a daily basis as the service operations manager?
I would say my daily goal is my people. I even told Derek this morning is I can work to 4:00 every day, but if my guys need something for the next day, I'll work till I got to work till. To me, the guys are the most important, so they have to have what they're doing the next day.
Yeah.
They have to know it. They're people, they got families, they want to know what's going on. That's the most important. And then after that, it is come in here and do the paperwork that they did the day before, proposals, talking to customers, which is also a very important thing. And then just every day, talking to different guys for different products for service, trying to run numbers to make the service department more accurate on what it's doing.
Just continuing to learn and refine.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing in my position. I was learning how to do the computer end of everything, the paperwork. I mean, you're taking a guy that was a hands-on pound guy every day on a roof and putting him behind a computer is a total different ballgame. Chad worried about himself before. Chad worries about 5 guys more than he probably worries about himself right now, because it's very important that them guys are taken care of and have something to do every day because they got families to feed.
That's good. Because you've had the experience of not knowing, right? It's not like we've always been like we are now.
And like I've told you and I've told them guys, I don't want to be a number. I want to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to be in here, I want to make a difference in what we do in this department.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and how do we get there? Like, what do we do different from what you did 7 years ago? Just doing your own customers.
we reach out a lot more.
Yeah.
A daily thing for me now, it seems like, and what I was doing before we came in is very important. Travis and Josh are doing a really good job of finding more work.
Mm-hmm.
When they find more work, my job is to get a proposal out to these people, get it approved so these guys can go back and do the work. You, myself, everybody else, we're not in the field like them every day on these roofs.
Yeah.
We could be, but we won't get anything else done.
Mm-hmm.
So when these guys are finding more work, that's what's going to make this company grow.
How do I get better at finding more work, and what does that actually mean? Because it's not like looking for something that's not there.
No, a lot of our calls are just plain ordinary leak calls.
Mm-hmm.
So my role always was in the wintertime, or normally always if you find a hole in a roof, you always look 10 by 10 area, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to find another hole.
Yeah.
So now in the last, 6-7 years, even when I was in the field, we are reaching out where we actually do a 15-20 minute roof inspection. So a perfect example is what we did last year. I called you and I said, this metal is rusted. These units are rusted. Why don't we put some money in to see if we can paint these for them to make them last?
Yeah.
You put it in, and we made really good profit on that. So by me taking the extra minutes to find that, just put a couple more $1,000 into Technique Roofing.
Yeah, and what did it do for the customer in that instance?
It's saving their metal from rusting away. For the more leaks to come by or come back, it probably saved them half than me coming back and replacing all that edge metal 2-3 years down the road.
And now 2-3 years down the road to be about right now.
Yep.
And now it's probably 4 or 5 times the cost of what we did.
And plus, maybe that roof wasn't ready to be replaced, but we were there, we did that, and by the time we go to replace that roof, that metal probably is going to need to be replaced.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It gives you, like you and I talk about all the time, we are, other than a salesman maybe, are the first, not me, the techs are the first guys on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
They're your first salesman of all roofs, or the guys that are there looking at it, not us sitting back here. When them guys are looking at that roof and they see the whole thing, they call myself, they call you or whoever and say, this roof's shot. And you say, or I say, okay, well, what's it going to take to do this roof? Can we fix it? Do we need a new roof? What do we need?
Yeah.
So it's so important for them service guys to do that, because that helps everybody in here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that frees you or all the salesmen up from going to all these Wendy's and stuff like that all the time, just doing inspections when they're already doing them.
What are like your personal goals for like the repair department? Like where
the thing that, I don't know if I said it before, but the number one thing is like what your dad does for you. He wants things better for you than what he had them. Okay, so I want things better in my repair department than what I ever had them. So if there's a problem out there that we don't have the right stuff to do a job, I want to know. That's the only way that the repair department's going to grow, is if guys have what they need to do the job. They don't have to run here, run there, not have what they need, come home because they don't have what they need. That's number one. But the overall goal we talked about, at least this year, is I want to increase our sales by almost 400,000.
Yeah.
5 years, 2 million, and grow off of that. We talked about it in the future. If we keep growing it, my goal is, like you were talking about, to move up and put a guy underneath me to concentrate on the overall of it and him do, that's a goal. I mean, I think there's a lot of growth in this department. Just like the coating department.
Why do you think there's a lot of growth in service?
Because I don't feel like people know it. I don't feel like customers are aware of what we can do for them. They know we have a service department, but do they really know what the service can do for them? And it's something that we've started to explain to people, but I just don't think there's over half of the people out there that don't know that we can come up and clean their roofs off for them. Don't know we can walk their roofs and fix a patch or paint your gas lines or paint your units, or I just don't feel like the customer is aware of it. So a PM job it's not a big money maker for a day, but it's a good money maker. And if you do enough of them in a week, you can, you're going to be above your leak, but you're going to still make probably double what a leak was that day.
Speak on it like as a customer perspective, like why get a PM done?
The last thing most customers think about is what?
Is the roof.
You're absolutely right. So until it leaks, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So the thing about PM is you have to, when you're talking to a customer, you have to make them see that, okay? Because they don't see it. They're just, once again, they're not aware. Why would you want, I don't care about my roof. I don't leak. What do I? So the number one thing is, if I was ever to say the number one thing on PM is just cleaning out the drains.
Yeah.
Because and I know is more water that sits on a roof, and everybody says, well, water and ice and this is the worst thing for your roof is the sun. Okay? Any roof is the sun.
Yeah.
Because the sun will bake anything out of a roof. It will do it. It just will.
Just takes time.
It just takes time. So when the water sits there and you got water ponding, that's your worst areas because that's the water is slowly getting sucked away from there instead of just getting away from it.
Yeah.
So it's pulling all the membrane out of it. So the PM is just to what it stands for, preventive maintenance. We're up there to prevent you from having big time maintenance, and we could possibly, not always, make that roof last another 5 years by just doing preventive maintenance.
Yeah, 5 years at the end of a roof's life.
Yes.
Just a little different than 5 years at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Preventive maintenance probably aim more for your 10-year clients because anything before that, obviously you're still under warranty most of the time if you're dealing with Duralast roofs, mind you. I mean, not other roofs, but we're still under warranty, but you still should do a roof inspection. I mean, we do them when we can or whatever, but but a lot of these inspections, like we talked about earlier, are getting done by these techs when they're out there doing the job. I mean, they see something wrong, they let us know. And then we try to get it so we can go back and fix it. Not us, but the techs go back and fix it.
What's like one more benefit that you might provide with your service department or, like working as a service tech for you that you think like differentiates you from another roofing contractor?
Well, I will tell you, working for both your dad and your uncle, you learn very many different ways of doing things. The number one thing I will say for Technique Roofing altogether is our quality. Our quality by far exceeds 95% of the roofing companies out there. I've been on thousands of roofs. I can walk up on a roof who Derek's done, Rob's done, your dad's done, and I could tell you that we did that roof 9 times out of 10. It takes me 10, 15 minutes, I can tell you. So if you were wanting to come to work for Technique Roofing, it would probably be the family atmosphere. It would be the quality of workmanship.
Like, I've talked to people that have left places because they know their boss is like doing stuff wrong. I mean, that's kind of one reason why this place even started. But like, gentleman that works for us, he left because he didn't want to be associated, like, and know he's doing things wrong because like that's how the way his boss does it. So it does like you can hang your hat on like at the end of the day knowing like you're not screwing people. Oh yeah, and it means a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then that goes back to your probably where this has started from. I said this was started with 2 farm boys with the dad that your grandpa who pushed the honesty and the quality and everything you do it for a reason. You don't just do it because you're doing it to be the best you can be. So, I mean, you want to work for somebody like that. You don't want to work for somebody that's a half-assed person. You want to work for somebody that wants to put that quality out there, wants to treat their people right, wants to be good with the customers. That's where you want to work. You don't want to work for somebody that's not going to do all those things.
What about from a customer's perspective? Same thing, quality.
Yeah. I mean, the way that this was built, okay, this was built by this customer telling this customer that your dad and your uncle do this kind of work.
Yeah.
So, by doing things that you're doing now, I mean, is you're reaching out to a different kind of customer, which is nothing bad about that. That's the way the future is going. So, but there is so many references out there that these people can go to from Technique Roofing in the past, that there shouldn't be any reason why these people can't feel comfortable with this company.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're going to have everybody has bad experiences here and there. But I would say through the years, I've never really, in all the roofs that I've done or did or the stuff that I've done, that people just come back and say, man, them guys just didn't do a very good job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if something happens where we didn't do a very good job, we always stand behind it. I mean, your dad and your uncle would definitely have always stood behind everything we've done. If there was a problem, we went and fixed it. Maybe we shouldn't have had to do it, but we did it anyways because that's just our standard.